Hello, everyone, and welcome to Museum at Home. My name is Kumari Corder, and I am the Public Events and Family Programs Manager at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. I'm so excited to see so many of you today as we join together to celebrate Earth Day's 50th anniversary. Earth Day is all about celebrating, supporting, and caring for our environment. And today, I'm going to teach you how to recycle old newspaper to make newspaper planters for flowers, vegetables, or anything else you might like. Gardening is one of my favorite hobbies that I have been doing since I was pretty little. And I have found that these planters made out of newspaper is a very useful, easy, reliable way to start my vegetable seeds for my garden each year. So we are going to get started with supplies. The first thing you'll need is a large, full-size sheet of newspaper, just like this one. We'll go ahead and leave that folded in half, just like that. You will also need a flat surface, and that could be a table or a hard floor. An optional item, if you would like, is something like a pen, pencil, or a marker. This will help you make the creases on your folds, but your fingers will work just fine. So as you get situated, I do want to point out, I'm going to be doing my flower pot in reverse. So this was going to be my top here, and this will be my bottom. And hopefully this will make it easier for you to follow along with me. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with our full-size sheet of newspaper. It should be double thickness in length. And we're going to take this top edge, and we're going to line it up with the bottom edge. So go ahead and line those up nice and evenly. I do want to point out that your newspaper might already have a fold here. Just make sure that the edges line up on the bottom. They don't always. So we'll go ahead and crease that. Again, if you have a pencil, pen, or marker that you'd like to use to help with that crease, you're welcome to do that as well. All right, so now we have our half sheet of paper. Next step we're going to do is take one edge, and we're going to fold it over to meet the opposite side. So we're going to fold that over, line them up nice and evenly, and we'll make that crease right along the middle there. So it'll look just like this. Now we're going to open it up, and we're going to have that nice center crease right down the middle. So now I call this next step the paper airplane step. We are going to take this corner and this half of the top edge and line it down the middle line there. So go ahead and fold that right down the middle like you're starting a paper airplane. We're going to then take the other side and do the same thing. Match it right down to the middle. So it'll look like this. You'll have a triangle at the top and flat on the bottom. For our next step, we are going to take this bottom edge, and we are going to line it up to that middle line right there, right underneath the triangle. So go ahead and fold that up to meet the bottom of the triangle like this. And then we're going to fold it one more time right along that line right here. So go ahead and flip it up one more time. Oops. I did forget to mention, I'm going to point out, we are only doing the top two layers. So there should be two layers right at the bottom there. So we are going to have this half of the newspaper just like this. So at this point, it's my favorite step. We just flip it over, nice and easy. For our friends who are just joining us today, we are making newspaper flower pots, and we will be posting this video at the end. So if you missed the beginning, no worries. You can jump right back and access those steps at the end. All right, so we have it flipped over, and what we're going to do next is similar to before. We're going to take this edge and fold it to the middle. We're going to take the other edge and also fold it towards the middle. So go ahead and fold that over. Make a nice crease. Again, if you have that pen or pencil, you want to use that to make it firmer. I fold the other side as well. And this is what your newspaper pot should look like right now. All right. Now we are going to do something similar that we've done before. We're going to take this bottom layer and we're going to match it right to that middle crease line right there. So go ahead and fold that up to that middle line. And we're going to fold it up one more time right along the top of the fold we just did. So we're going to fold it up just like that. All right. Now I'd say this might be the trickiest part. If you'll notice, if we unfold this a little bit, the folds we just did, we're gonna have a flap right here. Up here, we have what I'm calling the pocket. This is where we're gonna take the flap and we're gonna tuck it into the pocket right there. I like to do one edge at a time. So I tuck in one side and I work my way down till I get the whole flap tucked into that pocket. Just like this. All right, once you have that, we are almost done with our flower pots. We are gonna take our thumbs and we're gonna put it inside this new hole right in the middle. And we're gonna put it right in the middle, put our thumbs in the middle of each one, and we're gonna slowly and carefully pop it open. And then we'll have our finished newspaper pot. You'll notice you'll have this flap at the bottom. You can tuck that in a little bit. This actually adds some extra support for the pot, so I do like having that nice thick bottom. And if your newspaper pot is kind of floppy a little bit, that's just fine. When you add dirt inside of there, it's gonna sit nice and flat. So now we have our completed newspaper flower pot. Now I want to show you a few things that I have planted in my newspaper flower pots for my vegetable garden this year. You can use all kinds of things. You can plant flowers, vegetables, anything you'd like. You can even start trees in there and you'd have to transplant it later. But I want to show off a few of mine. This one here is onion. I have here is a little baby jalapeno. I have kale that I've grown in this one for my garden. This one is celery. That's going to make some tasty snacks for my lunches in the fall. And here, my favorite, this is broccoli. Again, you can choose all sorts of different things to plant in your planters. If you do have something like vegetables that you plan on putting in your garden, I do have one tip I'd like to point out. I've learned that these newspaper pots do decompose, but sometimes not quite as fast as our little roots want to grow. So if you transplant this into a garden where it has more room, I do recommend kind of peeling off the bottom of your newspaper pot, or you can take your plant out of your pot, plant it, and then do what I do, and I actually compost my newspaper pots, so it adds to some soil that I'll be adding into my garden for next year. So I do want to thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to make newspaper flower pots with me today. If you missed any steps or would like to revisit any, we will be posting this video on the Children's Museum website, so please be sure to check that out for some more eco-friendly tips as well. Happy Earth Day, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us as we bring the Children's Museum to your home. Bye.